Hello and welcome. You're watching Buy Now Sell Now from ET Now SBR Live Studio. This is a show where in 1 hour we'll be talking specifically about your stocks purchases. That's right. This is a show where you can ask your stock specific queries just in case anything you want to ask about your purchase. Just give us the stock's name, the buy price, and for how long you want to stay put in it, and we will guide you via our experts. We will recommend via our experts whether you should be invested or you should just book your profit and move on. So this is a show where we just focus on your stock specific movements, and today on the show we are joined by Kunal Parar and Gaurang Shah. Morning, gentlemen, and welcome to the show. But before we step into our viewer query section, let's just take a quick market check where we are looking at markets sustaining above 25,900, which is a good thing. But it's definitely slightly range bound right now. Broader markets are outperforming, with mid cap and small cap doing better than the major indices, almost up 0.5%. The market breadth definitely looks very good right now, with 1629 advances and almost 1204 declines. If we are looking at the top gainers as far as Nifty are concerned, it's Hero Moto almost up 3.5%. Shriram Finance, we are looking at 2.5% up. Bajaj Auto, Kotak Mahindra, Axis Bank almost up 1.5 to 1.2%. On the laggards, definitely Tata Motors, PV down almost 4.5%. Ultratech, Tata Steel, BHL, Infosys down almost 0.5 to 1%. So the market breadth looks good, with IT and metals are the only two index where we can see, there is on the negative territory on the red side. But apart from that, if we look at PSU Bank, again shining today with almost 1.5% up in the trade. We are also looking at autos doing good, marginally up although, but then look at the energy pack, and as well as if we look at the defense pack, that too is doing good today with almost 1.5% up, and oil and gas also 0.5% up. So overall the market looks good, it looks steady, but then we are definitely waiting for that mark 26,000 for it to cross and also sustain beyond those levels. But then let's begin with our stock related conversation, and let's welcome both of our guests, Kunal Parar and Gaurang Shah. Hi, good morning and welcome to the show. And Kunal, let's just understand the technical setup of the market first, and then we'll begin with our viewer queries. So what's up for you then on the markets today?
Well, good morning to you and Gaurang sir. Well, if we talk about market, right now market is trading at 24,950, and since last many days Nifty has been facing a strong resistance of its 26,000 level, or one can say Nifty has been trading between the range of 26,000 to 25,700. So either side breakout will decide the further course of action in terms of Nifty's momentum. And if you talk about further analysis, then you can see that the FI has been like continuously selling in the index future and is still going on. And till date, I think somewhere around 9,000 crore is on selling side from the FII. So it's a biggest question right now with this ongoing momentum of Nifty's. So if Nifty sustain over 26,000, then we may see a very good upside momentum, unless and until if it gives a breakout of 26,000. Whereas if we talk about downside, 25,700 is a strong support. If Nifty break this support, then further downside would be there up to the level of 25,400. So yes, right now Nifty has been trading between the range of this 26,000 to 25,700.
Right, so that's the take coming in on the markets. Let's watch out for that. But so many callers and live viewers are joining us on the show. And with this, let me welcome the first caller on the show. Punita from Coimbatore is joining us on the phone line. Hi, very good morning. Go on. We have Gaurang as well as Kunal to guide you better.
Okay, good morning. This is Punita from Coimbatore, and I am a big fan of your channel and all your channel analysts and channel executives too. I have two questions today.
Thank you.
And one is, can I start buying G&G Electronics at current market price?
Okay.
Then second question is, please suggest two mid-cap or small-cap IT stocks for 3 to 5 years time horizon.
All right, so two-part questions. One is G&G Electronics. We don't discuss much about this particular counter. Seems to be a bit of an illiquid name, and I'm not sure if Gaurang will be tracking this counter. So Kunal, why don't you give a quick chart check on this particular counter, and for the top bets within the mid-cap basket, Gaurang, I'll come to you. But Kunal, you go first.
So it's a GRSE, right?
No. Punita, is it GRSE that you're talking about?
No, G&G Electronics.
Yeah, I think that it's GNG Electronics, Kunal.
Yeah,
It's a
last year I think the
three.
IPO was.
Yeah, 335 rupees stock is what I can see. I don't
Okay.
think we have that in the system, but any take here?
Right now, my view is on bearish side on this stock. Stock is trading at 335. Further downside would be there up to the level of 320 to 300 level. I'm not seeing any particular direction in upper side. The way stock has been trading on its early chart, further downside would be there, further pain would be there. So from my side, it's an exit call on this counter.
Punita, that's an exit for you. But Gaurang, what about the top bets and the recommendations for Punita? Any 2 to 3 top names that are coming to your mind?
Thank you so much for having me on this show. And a small disclosure before I go on stock specific. All recommendations that I'll be sharing this morning are on the fundamental side long term. They are a part of our research team recommendations. Our company, Geojit, or I do not have any personal investments, no financial interest, no conflict of interest. But we do share similar recommendations with our clients. They might have their investment interest. Mid cap ideas are plenty across sectors. If I heard her right, her question was mid cap IT names. So, in the form of mid cap IT names, and we did see the second quarter earnings come out shade and a color better compared to what the expectation was, Srishti. First, recommendation in form of mid cap IT name would be Coforge from a long term point of view. Second mid-cap IT name in terms of long-term investments would be L&T Technologies. Again, these are all fundamental long-term investment ideas. So you need to have at least 1.5, 2 year plus. I believe she's got 3 to 5 year time horizon. That's going to be good enough in case if she eventually decides to invest in these stocks. I could also read in the pamphlet that she was inquiring about defense names. So we have recommendation on Cochin Shipyard, which is also, of course, a mid to large cap kind of category name. From a long term point of view, you can invest over there. And one investment idea amongst the banking and finance, and that too private sector banks, uh, or maybe a public sector bank, would be in form of mid cap public sector bank, would be in form of Indian Bank.
All right, so that's a recommendation coming in, but then let's move on and let's take an SMS query also. Kunal, this is again from Coimbatore, and he's Ramesh, and he's holding 1,000 shares of IIFL Finance at 430 each, and he wants to know for how long should he be holding this, or he really plans to hold it for long term, but then looking at the current trajectory, he really wants to take a good call.
Well, if you talk about IIFL Finance, right now trading at 552, stock has been trading in its uncharted territory. Recently stock has given a breakout of its recent top, which was placed at 535 level. Further upside would be there in the counter. And if you talk about momentum wise, then no, at least we can expect somewhere around 600 to 620. So from my side, holds recommendation for the upside would be there up to the lower 600, 620 that we can say in the near term.
Gaurang, any long-term take out here?
Well, we are positive, Kavita, as far as the capital market related stocks are concerned. And of course, if your view is that Indian capital markets are going to do well, then definitely strong fundamental stocks will also do well. One company that we have a coverage which is associated with the Indian capital markets into services side is CAMS, Computer Age Management Services. These are again fundamentally long-term investment idea.
All right, so that's the take coming in on both of these counters. But let's move on and let's move to the next query that is coming in on Shalet Hotels. Gaurang, any view here? Where Nikhil Sharma from Mumbai wants a view on Shalet Hotels. He's been holding this particular counter. He has purchased this stock for a long term. Help us with your view here.
So, I'll give a view on the sector, that is hospitality. And Srishti, one fact that we all have to accept is that for the last couple of quarters, post the numbers, mostly all strong fundamental hospitality related stocks management has given a verbatim that they are going to go in for large capex. That includes acquisition of new assets and properties, and along with that, going into capex of the existing capacities and assets that they have. We are extremely positive about this sector. And the fact of the matter is that realizations per room has gone up. tariffs have gone up, and more importantly, we are going to enter a we are out of a festive season when we are going to a wedding season. And that's where the cash registers of strong companies in the hospitality will do well. I can suggest one name. Of course, Shalet Hotels happens to be a strong name, but since we don't have a coverage, I can't give any specific. We are positive on Indian hotels from this particular sector.
All right, so that's the take coming in on Shalet Hotels. But Kunal, a quick check over here when it comes to the stock price.
It's right now stock is trading somewhere around, right now stock is trading somewhere around 875 and it's like continuously stock has been trading. It's a 100 days moving average, so further downside would be there and further pain would be there. Overall chart structure looks very weak from the present level. If you talk about downside level, we may see some further correction up to the level of 840, and if stock break this level, then further downside would be there even up to the level of say 780. So from my side, it's totally avoid strategies, and 840, 780 would be there in the near term.
Right, so that's an avoid over there. But then let's move on. Gaurang, I'll come to you. This is a question from Mr. Raghunath, Bangalore, and he's holding 2,000 shares of Vodafone Idea at 11.87 from IPO and 55 shares of Coal India at 479. So he wants a recommendation. I'm assuming it's a long-term horizon since he's not mentioned his time duration.
So if you talk about long term, then I think Gaurang sir would be the better person if you talk about the idea. But yeah, from my side, I have an exit call on this idea. Means
Okay.
I'm not getting that much of confidence on this counter
Sure.
because if you talk about market cap, its debt is more than its market cap. So from my side, it's a avoiding call. And if you are having if you have this stock in a portfolio, then please exit from this stock and you can shift your idea to Bharti Airtel.
All right, Gaurang, your take definitely on both the counters.
Well, first of all, let me thank my good friend Kunal to passing on the difficult questions to me. Now, to be very yes, I concur with Kunal's view.
Okay.
Look, you can't, and he's invested since IPO. You can understand, Kavita, how long term he has been invested, and even after being invested for such a long period of time, in terms of returns, absolutely zero, nothing. Especially in a scenario when the outcome of performance is dependent on what the Supreme Court has decided and eventually what the government is going to decide in terms of the AGR dues. If you minus the AGR dues of almost about 12,000 crores, which is under consideration, the total debt on the balance sheet of Vodafone Idea is very, very huge. In terms of subscriber base, well, the last month they were able to retain the subscriber base. There was no loss, but for the last many months, they have been losing subscriber base. Technology-wise, also there's a little bit of issue. I would concur that, of course, we don't cover Vodafone Idea, so no specific. Bharti Airtel, Reliance Industries because of Jio Telecom or mobility business, which comes under Reliance Industries, or something which assists or enables a services company like a Tata Communication. There's one more company, Kavita, which we don't have a recommendation, but it's just a view. And that company is called Bharti Hexacom. A very quiet and a silent player. It came out with an IPO, I think, about 1.5 2 years back. And this has been a stellar performer. We are not recommending it, Bharti Hexacom, but it's a strong player. And in terms of Coal India, well, we do have a hold recommendation from a long-term point of view. So if you have long-term investment in Coal India, you can continue to hold.
All right, so those are some of the recommendations coming in from Gaurang. But with this, viewers, it's time now to slip into a very short break. Don't go anywhere as we come right back. We will be taking more of your stock-related queries. Welcome back to Buy Now Sell Now, show where we get you answers for all your stock-related queries. We have Kunal and Gaurang with us to help you better. And with this, let's move on to our next live caller, and that is Tushar from Delhi joining us on the phone line. Hi Tushar, good afternoon, and go ahead, ask your question to Gaurang or Kunal, and help us understand which is the stock that you're already holding.
Hello, hi team, good afternoon. Thanks for taking my query. So I am holding 100 shares of eClerks at the rate of 4,400. So I have just entered it for a short-term trading perspective, considering the positive sentiment around IT environment and due to trade deals. So can you please suggest till what level should I hold, or should I just exit at the current levels?
All right, that's about eClerx holding 400 shares in the portfolio. Any price level where you have entered? Can you help us with that?
4,400.
4,400. Okay, so mild profit is what he's getting. Kunal, what's your take in the short term for eClerx services?
Well, stock has been trading above its 100 days, 200 days moving average. Not only this, stock has been trading in its higher to higher bottom formation also. So based on this technical structure, we may see further northward march toward the level of 4,570, and stock break this level, then further upside would be there up to the level 4,800. So yes, definitely from my side, it's a whole recommendation with the strict stop loss of 4,370. Sharp upside momentum would be there that we can see in the near term.
Right, a stop loss of 4370. Tushar, is there anything else you want to ask our experts?
No, thank you. Thank you for
All
that.
right, all the best, all the best. Let's move on and let's take SMS questions. And Gaurang, I'll come to you. This is Neha from Bangalore, and she's making 40% profit in DCB Bank and Borosil Renewables and 30% in other counter. I don't think so that's in our coverage. But then she wants a strategy on both of the counters. All right, so let's just get the chart also for her. DCB, yeah, and Borosil Renewables.
Well, so on Borosil Renewables, we do have a positive coverage. Our targets are somewhere close to about 700. She can continue to hold on if she's a long-term investor. On DCB Bank, Kavita, the problem is, of course, this quarter was a good quarter for DCB Bank, second quarter earnings. But the problem is with sustainability on earnings. There was an issue of asset quality wherein last financial year, we saw a huge spike up with respect to the gross and net NPAs. Provisioning also was at an elevated level. So if you want to know specific coverage on DCB banks, so I won't give a buy scenario, but our sense is that there are better banks to look at in terms of performance wise. For example, there is a major turnaround in the earnings for IDFC First Bank. We have a positive coverage over there. Federal Bank, again, a great player. And I named one mid-cap bank at the beginning of the show, that is Public Sector Bank, mid-cap Indian Bank. These are very strong names.
Banking side, IDFC, Federal Bank is your call. Kunal, on the charts also, if you could just guide Neha on both of these counters.
If we talk about DCB Bank right now trading at 185 by 6%, stock has been trading in its uncharted territory. Positive rhythm is there, positive volume is there. So based on this technical structure, for the upside would be there. And if you talk about for the upside momentum for the target, and stock may march toward the level of 201. And if stock break this level, then further upside would be there up to the level of 245. So yes, based on the MOM theory, and we may see a very good upside momentum in this counter. And may I know the second stock's name?
Borosil Renewables.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you properly.
Borosil Renewables.
Okay. If you talk about Borosil Renewable, the way stock has been trading on its daily chart, we may see a good upside movement in the counter. Right now, stock is trading at 647. Stock has been trading about 100 days moving average, and it's near its 52-week high. So further upside would be there in the counter. If we talk about overall upside momentum, then the first target comes at 720, and if stock break this level, then one way upside would be there up to the level of 840. So yes, momentum is on higher side, momentum is on northward direction. Both the stocks may perform very well in near term to medium term.
All right, so that's the fundamental as well as technical take on both of these counters. But for this viewers, it's once again time to slip into a very short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more on the other side.
Welcome back. You're watching Buy Now Sell Now from ET Now SBI Live Studio, and it's time to switch gear to our viewer queries back again. And we're also joined by Forum Shera, our expert. And Forum, hi, morning, and welcome to the show. Let's get connected and let's take Nikhil Sharma's question. And Forum, I'll come to you. Nikhil has bought Tata Communications at 1923. And what's the right time to exit the stock? That's what his query is.
Well, hi, good morning, and thank you for having me on the show. Well, to begin with, on Tata Communications, the stock price has actually been doing extremely well, overall trend, if we look into it. So, since October, the stock price had rallied from those levels of 1600 to nearly 2000. So, that's a good move we've seen in the month of October. Currently, the stock price is consolidating, so thus it becomes a good hold. And the stop loss should be placed only below the levels of around 1815. And he can look for a potential upside target back again towards its previous highs of 2000. And overall, he can consider booking partial profits at 2000 and then look to hold on for further, like for the next 3 to 4 months, where he can expect further upside towards the levels of 2050 as well.
All right, so that's the take coming in on Tata Communications. But Kunal, the next query that I have is coming in from Mohit. He's writing to us to know about SAIL. He's holding 500 shares, buy price is 104 rupees. His time horizon is for the next 3 years. What to do with this one? Kunal, I guess you are on that you are on mute.
Sorry.
Please go
Well,
ahead.
if you talk about Steel Authority of India, right now stock is trading at 141 and trading above its previous top, which was placed at 136, 137. Based on this ongoing technical structure, we may see a very good upside momentum in the counter up to the level of 155 to 170. And if you talk about long-term perspective, then this stock looks very attractive. This is a good dividend paying stock as well. So both means we might get good dividend as well as capital growth as well from the present level. So from my side, it's a whole recommendation for this counter.
It's a hold as far as SIL is concerned from Kunal's perspective. And with that, Kunal, thank you so much for taking your time out and helping our viewers with their stock-specific queries today. Thanks. But Forum, we'll continue with you and we'll take Sunny's question. He's written this question from Kolkata and he's holding Axis Bank at 1230. And it's a short-term view. So he wants to know the stop loss and the target that you might want to recommend.
Well, so that's a good entry that he's made. So I would suggest him to consider booking at least 50% profits and he can trade his stop loss back again towards the cost price. And he can look for the stock price to see some more upside momentum. Now, since the bank nifty or the banking space has been relatively seeing some outperformance, we can expect this, particularly Axis Bank, to move up higher towards 1270, where he can consider booking full profits since he's holding it only for the short term.
All right, that's the take coming in on Axis Bank. But Forum, the next query that I have is coming in on Reena Thomas on Bank of Maharashtra, holding 1,000 shares rather at a price of 62 rupees. The banks are on roll today. What's your view on Bank of Maharashtra and till what level she should hold, if at all?
So when Bank of Maharashtra, overall the stock price has been into a broad consolidation, I would suggest to her to consider holding on to the stock. In fact, the stock price is very close actually to the resistance point, or we can say a breakout level that is at levels of closer to 61. Now, the why I'm saying is breakout is because we've seen a good accumulation in the stock from the past 1 to 1.5 months. And since the banking space has been on a road, or we would say it's more into the momentum, I'm expecting a good breakout to take place in this particular stock, where the potential upside target moves up towards 65 levels. Thus, it remains a good hold. Just to be on the safer side and from a risk management perspective, the stop loss can be placed below the levels of 57.7.
All right, Forum, let's move on to the last question of the day. This is from Neeraj, again, Delhi question. And he wants to know if he can accumulate Coal India right now, NMDC and REC for 3 years period.
Well, to start off with Coal India, I think he can avoid it because stock price has not really seen any kind of momentum or even and relative strength is also quite weak. So that is something I would suggest him to avoid it. NFTC is something he can consider from a long-term perspective, even to consider buying at current levels. Thus, one, he can look at buying partially at 76.6 at current levels, then look at adding in at lower levels of around 75. And in fact, from a long-term perspective, he can look for a potential upside first target of 82 and then closer to almost 90. So that's a good buying level at these current levels rather. And the last one I think is REC that was mentioned. I would suggest to avoid because it's not showing some strength. I would wait for some more time to see some kind of a relative positive divergence in RSI before considering it a buy. So I think NMDC looks the best.
All right, so that's the take coming in on all these 3 counters. But with this Forum, we let you go. So good having you on the channel today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.